Hey everybody, Professor Carl here, and school is in session. That's right, there's a brand new magic set out, Strixhaven, the School of Mages, featuring the #1 premier school for magic in the entire multiverse. And, as is pretty much the standard for various schools of magic, there are multiple colleges that this school is divided into. And the premise for this set focuses on those colleges. Each college represents a different enemy color pair in Magic. We've got the Silver Quill, who are the black-white ones. They are the debaters. We've got Witherbloom, the green-black. They are they're kind of like the, how can I put it, the environmental nerds. Over at Quandrix, the blue-green ones, we've got the math nerds. And of course, we always use the term nerd lovingly because we're nerds ourselves. Next up, we've got the Prismari. They are the theater kids. And last but not least, we've got Lorehold. These are the history buffs and the jocks. So, on that note, we're going to be opening up a draft booster box. Now remember, there are multiple different types of booster boxes available for every Magic set that comes out now. There's the draft booster, which is pretty much what the old booster packs were. There are the set boosters, which are a little more specified and curated, and then they have the collector boosters, which have the better chance of pulling the showcase cards or and foils, all that other fun stuff. So, one of the other things they did for Strixhaven here, which I will tell you as I'm opening them up, is that each pack has a card from the Mystical Archives. And the Mystical Archives are instants and sorceries from throughout Magic's past, reprinted in a very special frame and very special art style. So these are similar to the masterpieces from past sets, but a little bit different because there is a guaranteed one in every pack. They're available in both standard and in foil versions. So in that case, they're a lot more like the time-shifted stuff from Time Spiral. And finally, though, much like the masterpieces, they're only legal in whatever sets the card is normally printed in. So if it's something that isn't a more recent set that's standard legal, you can play it in standard. But if it's a card that's a bit older and doesn't have a standard set printing, like, let's say, Channel, it's not going to be standard legal. But you can still use it in any of your limited formats, so drafts and the sealed deck. On that note, I've spoken enough. Let's get to the cards. So we begin, as per usual, with the commons, which do feature some really stunning artwork. The Silver Quill, very much ink-based in a lot of their magic. They create little ink creatures. Oh, which reminds me, each of the schools, each of the colleges, has a different mascot, which are summoned as tokens. Here's our first rare. We got Basic Conjuration, and it is a lesson. This is a new subtype for cards, where there are certain cards that have an ability called Learn, where you can find a lesson card that you own from outside of the game. So in tournament play, that means that it's going to be in your sideboard. Oh, would you look at that? We ended up with 2 rares out of this one. Very cool. And we've got Radiant Scroll Wielder. But anyway, the Learn ability lets you grab lessons from outside of the game and put them into your hand. And here we have our first of the Mystical Archives cards. Village Rites, a nice reprint, sacrifice a creature and draw 2 cards. Notice the new frame on it, as well as the stunning artwork. And here we are, first pack, we already have a foil. It's Pilgrim of the Ages. And here we have an Elemental token. Elemental is the mascot of Prismari. All right, next pack. Okay, let's skip on through. Also, each of the colleges has its own campus. There are common cards that enter the battlefield tapped. You can tap it for one of either of the school's colors, and you can pay 4 generic mana and tap it to scry 1. Oh, no random rare in the middle this time around, unfortunately. And here we have a Conspiracy Theorist. And our archive is Shock. Fractals are the mascots for Quandrix. Quandrix, being the math nerds, all their magic is math-based, so you have a lot of stuff that will require you to do some pretty nasty calculations in your head while playing. So it makes things a bit easier when you're playing online on Arena because the computer does all the math for you. But still can be a lot of fun playing in person as you have to count your library to figure out how many counters to put on one of their cards. I was actually playing a game the other day where I ended up facing off against a 4242 fractal token. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to save them from me. Biblioplex is our rare, and Whirlwind Denial is our mystical archive. Lorehold's mascot are our spirit tokens. When I mentioned earlier they are history nerds, the whole premise behind that element of their personalities is that they bring the past literally to life by resurrecting them as spirits. The Inklings, as I mentioned earlier, are the mascots for Silverquill. And here we are. Our rare is Selfless Glyph Weaver. It's our first of the dual face cards. And on the other side, oops, is that wrong? The other side is Deadly Vanity. So creature on one side, sorcery on the other. And our mystical archive is Tezzeret's Gambit. There we go. And we have a foil bookworm. Very nice. Alrighty then. Next pack. Let's see what we get. Oh, and yes, there are dragons in this set. In fact, they're the creators of each of the colleges. Hopefully we'll pull some of them because they're really nice. Also, some of the lessons are colorless, so you can run them in any deck you're running. There is a very heavy instant and sorcery theme to this set. Here we have our first mythic. It's Hoffrey Ghostforge, which improves all of these spirits that you're summoning as a member of Lorehold. And our mystical archive is Agonizing Remorse. And there's a token for that Inkling I mentioned before. Alrighty, next pack. New keyword ability, Ward. Pretty much whenever you whenever an opponent rather targets this card or any card with Ward with a spell or an ability, you counter that ability or spell unless they pay the Ward cost. In the case of this Owlin's Shield Mage, that means paying an extra 3 life. Also, with the Instant and Sorcery sub-theme, a lot of the cards have the ability of, oh, would you look at that, a second Hoffrey Ghostforge right after the first one. Way to randomize, Wizards. A lot of cards have Magecraft, which will give them bonuses depending on how many Instants and Sorceries you cast each turn. And, ooh, very nice, Lightning Helix. Always a good spell. Beautiful artwork on the archive there. Very nice. Alrighty, let's take a look at the next pack. Exponential Growth. Until the end of the turn, double target creature's power X times. Like I said, the Quandrix students love their math. And our mystical archive is Revitalize. Oh, come on. This pack does not want to relinquish its contents. Ooh, okay. Well, I just spoiled things if you noticed that, but we do have a foil mystical archive card in this pack. So let's... Well, I want to see what it is. Let's just skip through all of this stuff nice and quickly. So, our rare is Venerable Warsinger. This box seems to be pushing us towards Lorehold. The regular mystical archive is Cultivate, and the foil one, give us something good. Eliminate. Okay, it's one of the uncommon ones, but again, gorgeous. Let's put that over there with the other foils. And the fractal token. Alrighty then. And as you can see, Hybrid Mana is back, as you probably already noticed from the other packs I've opened, but just something I thought I might as well bring to your attention. And there are a number of legendary students usually at the uncommon level. Okay, here we have another dual-face card. Each of the colleges has a dual-faced dean card, where the dean representing one of the colors is on one side, and the dean representing the other color is on the other side. And they usually have some sort of interaction with each other, so if you run a bunch of them, you play the one, you put the other one out, they'll be feeding each other. And, Ephemerate is our Mystical Archive card. And we end up with a foil Field Trip. And yes, treasures are back, represented by some really nice crystal tokens. Alrighty then. Oh, I see another foil in this one. So let's get over to it. Incidentally, I love this one. It's a potential 5/4 for 2 mana. I mean, you have to sacrifice a creature to get for 2 mana, or you can pay 3 additional colorless mana. Generic mana, but still pretty cool. Nice plant dog. Alrighty, we've got Baleful Mastery as our rare. Incidentally, there's also a cycle of cards where you have alternate costs where you can pay a lot less for the card, but in exchange you're giving your opponent a big boon. So it comes down to if you want to spend the mana or if you want to give your opponent card advantage. And here's a non-foil Eliminate. And a foil Prismari Apprentice. Nice and shiny. Alright. Getting towards the bottom of our first of 3 stacks. And let's pick up the pace a little bit. Zombie Crocodiles, Golems, Treefolk, Warlocks. There's a lot of really just fun combinations of creature types in this set. Okay, we've got Strixhaven Stadium. Yep, it wouldn't be a school of magic if there wasn't some sort of magical sport that they were playing. So this is where they play, not the one from that famous series of books. And our Mystical Archive is Weather the Storm. Okay. Let's flip on through the commons, see if we get another accidental extra rare. No luck this time around. But here we have another pair of deans. We've got Keon, the Dean of Substance, and the other side, Imbraham, the Dean of Theory. And Claim the Firstborn is our Mystical Archive. Here we go into stack number 2. Campus, Zombies, Professor. Incidentally, Professor Onyx is a new pseudonym adopted by Liliana Vess, and she does have a Planeswalker card in this set. And you can see Professor Onyx says Planeswalker Liliana, so you know for certain that it is her. We've got Archmage Emeritus as our rare, and Increasing Vengeance as our mythic Mystical Archive card. Very cool. And Nahiri does not look happy. Alrighty. Oh, definitely another foil in this one. Okay, Radiant Scroll Wielder is our rare. Strategic Planning, I love this art, the art on this card in particular. I think it's stunning. But that is our Mystical Archive, and we've got a foil common, the Campus Guide. Nice little golem that will show you where you need to go by letting you search your library for a basic land card. Biomathematician. The way that they rendered all of the Quandrix stuff in particular is really just beautiful, and really gets across the whole, math as magic vibe. Okay, here we are. Manifestation Sage is our rare, and Cultivate is our Mystical Archive. And we are approaching the halfway point. I'm starting to slip the cards. Each college also has its own Pledge Mage. As you can see, we got Lorehold and Quandrix both in this pack. Oh, and I do see a foil down below. Here we have the Wandering Archaic, an avatar that is also, if you so wish to do instead, a sorcery. Explore the Vastlands. And then we've got Compulsive Research as our Mystical Archive, and a foil rare Furycom Snarl. So there we go. Holding them incorrectly, sorry about that. So they've continued and completed the cycle of the lands that come into play tapped unless you reveal a basic land type from your hand. And there is one for each of the colleges, and here we have the one for Lorehold, the Furycom Snarl. So very, very nice and very useful foil rare there. All right, what do we have here? That's interesting. Oh, okay. I was going to say, that's funny. This should be one of the tokens. Why does it have a magic back? But then I remembered that we do have the cards you can use as stand-ins for your dual-faced cards. Alrighty, let's head on through to the other side of this pack. Flunk. And here we have the first of those dragons I mentioned earlier. This is Galazeth Prismari, the dragon that found the Prismari house. And yes, all of the dragons have the name of the house in their name. 3/4 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, you create a treasure token. And all artifacts have all artifacts you control have tap to add 1 mana of any color. Spend this mana only to cast an instant or sorcery. So those treasures you're making, you can actually keep them around instead of sacrificing them for mana, but only for instants and sorceries. And our Mystical Archive is Negate. Okay, that, I believe, brings us to the halfway point for this box. Make your mark. Tome Shredder, very cool. Artwork-wise, at least. Here we have another random rare in the middle of the pack. I wonder if this is a thing. Well, the other one also was a lesson, so I guess we maybe that's a clue. But we've got Illuminate History, and here's our legendary student from Lorehold, Quintorius, the Field Historian, for people who love elephants. And hey, here's another one of those snarls in a non-foil. It's the one for Prismari, the red-blue. And Abundant Harvest is our Mystical Archive card. Alrighty. So we've had some pretty cool stuff so far. Let's hope we can still get some really neat stuff as we continue. Hopefully a few more really awesome mythics. Maybe another foil Mystical Archive would be very nice. Okay, Baleful Mastery. We saw this one before, but this is our rare. Our Mystical Archive is Duress. And we have a Pest token. The Pests, which we haven't gotten to yet, are the mascots for Witherbloom. There are 1/1 creatures that when they die, you gain 1 life. Oh, I see the shining of a foil in the back here. Okay, Gnarled Professor is our... Oops, I put that in the wrong pile. Is our rare for this one. It's a 5/4 for 4 mana, which is pretty solid. It's got Trample, and when it enters the battlefield, Learn. So, like I mentioned before, you can find a lesson card you own from outside of the game and add it to your hand. The other option for Learn, if you don't have any lessons over on the side, you can discard a card and then draw a card. And Opt is our Mystical Archive. Ooh, and we have the foil is Heated Debate. Yes, I did completely forget there was a foil there in the 5 seconds it took me to go through the rest of the pack. Alrighty then, let us continue. Okay, and our rare is Pestilent Cauldron, which you can flip over for Restorative Burst. And our Mystical Archive is Infuriate. And remember I was saying before about nice creature combinations? Vampire Druid. And here we have Blade Historian. There are cycles of rares that are just 4 hybrid mana for that college. And 2/3 human cleric, attacking creatures you control get double strike. And, very cool, Dark Ritual is our Mystical Archive card. Love that artwork. Okay, what do we got here? Oh, we got a foil in the back. Killian, Ink Duelist, is the featured student from the Silver Quill, and as we've already seen, we got two of them here, one of them foil, so nice and shiny, very cool. Lifelink and Menace on him. And spells you cast a targeted creature cost 2 less to cast. Here we have our rare, it's Prismari Command. Each of the colleges has a different command, so you can choose 2 of various options when you cast the spell. Some are sorceries, some are instants, all of them are modal. And the Mystical Archive is Divine Gambit. A card of questionable utility, but stunning artwork. That actually reminds me that as a special bonus, Japanese packs have alternate artwork for the Mystical Archives. So there are a few that are available here in the US, so you don't need to worry about importing them. And some of them are rather sought after because, just like with the American ones, they are stunningly, just from a visual standpoint, stunningly, artistically... I'm babbling. Let's continue with the pack. Okay. I definitely have to go back through this, this stack here. We have a Mythic lesson here, Mascot Exhibition, in which you create a Inkling token, a Spirit token, and an Elemental token. No pests, unfortunately, and since there's no way to put counters on them, none of the fractals. Okay, Culling Ritual is our rare, and Mystical Archive is Adventurous Impulse. We continue down our final stack. Oh, I see shiny in the back. Okay, we've got Shail, the Dean of Radiance, and on the opposite side, Embrose, the Dean of Shadow. Our Mystical Archive is another Infuriate, and we've got a foil Zombie Crocodile, the Moldering Karok. Okay, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've got the lesson, 3 uncommons. Okay, Elemental Expressionist is our rare, another one of the 4 hybrid mana cards. Mystical Archive is Mana Tithe. And an advertisement. Okay. Can we pull another foil rare out of here? Or another foil Mystical Archive? I guess we'll find out soon enough. Nope, don't want to keep spoiling things because we just kind of... Oh, okay, another rare lesson, Teachings of the Archaics. Crackle with Power, very nice mythic there. Deals 5 times X damage to each of up to X targets, so at a bare minimum you're dealing 5 damage for 5 mana to 1 target, but then if you end up going with 8 mana, that's 10 damage to each of 2 targets. So you're not dividing that damage up, it's hitting each of them. So very, very nice card there. And Negate is our Mystical Archive. And we've got another one of the dual face card placeholders. Okay, another Elemental Expressionist for our rare. Thrill of Possibility for a Mystical Archive. And a treasure token. Okay, we've got... it's about time we get to a Planeswalker. Well, not on the first side. The front side, we've got Mila, Crafty Companion, a legendary fox. However, if you're familiar with the lore of the game, you know that she is the Crafty Companion of Luca. That's right, he ended up in Strixhaven from Ikoria. And Memory Lapse is our rare, or Mystical Archive, but happens to be a rare. And, okay, a second foil rare. We got Semester's End. So, not bad. 2 foil rares out of the pack. Not going to argue with that. Still haven't seen Kasmina, Professor Onyx, or the Kenrith twins yet. Hopefully we'll pull another Planeswalker by the time the box is through. Oh, just double check, yep. Okay, another Conspiracy Theorist for a rare. Defiant Strike for our Mystical Archive. And a foil Study Break. Okay, and with that, there are 6 packs remaining. Okay, Elite Spellbinder. Very notable because this is a World Champion card, meaning that the character depicted in here is actually based off of Paulo Vitor Damo de Rosa. Sorry, De Rosa. I'm horrible with names. World Champion or rather World Champion number 26, which also says right there on the card. Our Mystical Archive is another strategic planning, which I'm cool with because I love that art. 5 packs remaining. Show us some love. Another Killian, another Strixhaven Stadium, and the Mystical Archive is Snakeskin Veil. Another one with very, I mean, they all have very stunning artwork. Alrighty, getting down to the wire. 4 packs remaining. Here we have Plarg, the Dean of Chaos. And on the other side, I'm going to pull this aside so you can't see what the Mystical Archive card is yet. We've got Augusta, the Dean of Order. And the Mystical Archive is another Opt. And we have a foil mythic. Okay, so this makes 3 foil, some sort of rares. Magma Opus, 8 mana, that's 6 generic, 1 blue, 1 red. Deal 4 damage divided among as you choose among any number of targets. Tap 2 target permanents, create a 4/4 blue and red elemental token, and draw 2 cards. Or, from your hand, you can pay 2 either blue or red, discard it, and create a treasure. So, interesting ability. Stunning artwork, and it's a foil mythic, so I'm not complaining. 3 foils of some degree of rarity is nothing to sneeze at. Oh, it looks like this one got a little bent. Thankfully, the only card that got damaged here was the token. Alright, we've got another Biblioplex. And the Mystical Archive card is, hey, there we go! Demonic Tutor. Stunning artwork, damn good card. I'm happy. This would have been a great one to go out with, but we still have 2 more packs. Okay, so when you get to the end of the video, come back to this one, mark this time code, because this is when I opened the Demonic Tutor. Not foil, but I'm not going to complain, because it's still Demonic Tutor. That's another one where the, I mean, as stunning as this one is, the Japanese one is even more stunning, if you can believe that. Alrighty, second to last pack. It's got some pretty big shoes to fill here, so we'll see what happens. We've got Culling Ritual, and the Mystical Archive is Agonizing Remorse. You will go underneath Demonic Tutor because you are not Demonic Tutor. Okay, last pack. Will we get another Planeswalker? There's still 3 other, just character-wise, in the set, so let's see what happens. There is a foil back there, I just saw it by accident. So let's skip on through all this stuff. And the rare is another Elite Spellbinder. Good to see you again, Paolo. And the Mystical Archive is Divine Gambit. You will go underneath Demonic Tutor because, again, you are not Demonic Tutor. And our foil is Dina, Soul Steeper. And with that, we have our box. Let's take another very quick look through here, just to pull out the highlights. Magma Opus, nice foil mythic. Semester's End, a foil rare. Furycom Snarl, a foil rare. That's probably the best out of the three of them there. We've got the foil Eliminate, which, while it is just an uncommon from the Mystical Archive, it's still, again, the artwork on the archive cards is phenomenal. From the archives themselves, Demonic Tutor is the big one, and remains the big one, and will probably remain the big one for years to come. What else did we get in here? Dark Ritual is pretty solid. Again, glorious artwork on that. Compulsive Research, really cool artwork on that one. Again, just cool artwork in general. Increasing Vengeance, especially stunning. Angry Nahiri. And finally, from our pile of rares and mythics, the Elite Spellbinders were really cool. The Deans are always nice. The big one, though, Luca and Mila. Unfortunately, no Professor Onyx. She's the big one in the set as far as the non-mystical archive cards, but there's enough good to hear that I'm happy with that. Crackle with Power, very solid, very playable mythic there for red. Oddly enough, only one command in here. So for a card that's at rare, a little on the odd side. We got one of the dragons. These are certainly amazing and playable. I mean, a 3/4 flyer for 4 mana is nothing to sneeze at anyway. Two Huffrey Ghost Forges, which is strange, but you know what? I'll take it. And that is that. Thank you all so very much for watching this. Please leave us a comment down below. Let us know what cards you're excited for from this set. Let us know what ones you've pulled in your own boxes. You can buy those boxes here at ToyWiz in the retail store or on ToyWiz.com. We got plenty available. So we'll see what amazing stuff you end up with. If you like this video, please drop us a like. Please subscribe to the channel so you can keep in touch with us so we can let you know when we have future videos coming out. And on that note, stay safe out there, and we'll see you next time.